You need to hear the recording they found in room 12. It shouldn't exist. Mark deleted it.
He said he never pressed play. He said he left the recorder in his truck. But at 2:17 a.m.,
In a room he swore he had locked from the inside, someone, or something,
played his apology back to him. "I'm so sorry."
The voice was his, but the breath behind it wasn't. This is CHF Stories Hidden in the Dark, and tonight
We opened the file of room 12. He woke to the TV humming.
but the picture was only static.
The room smelled like rain and old cigarettes.
His phone said to 17 a.m.
The door was closed. The lock was turned from the inside.
He had no memory of falling asleep. His name was Mark Ellis, delivery driver, 2 years on the road. He learned to sleep anywhere a truck bench, a motel cot,
A rest stop floor if he had to. That night he was tired enough to forget the radio.
The highway had been empty. The motel sign blinked red and half a letter.
Room 12 was what the night clerk had given him, when he said he would only stay an hour.
He thought he would be awake before dawn. He thought the road would be waiting for him. He was wrong. Rain-slick parking lot, one old pickup truck. The motel sat 1 town past the last exit. A strip of sodium lights and peeling vinyl chairs. A neon sign that buzzed when the wind hit it wrong.
The rain had left the asphalt wet, reflective, like another sky underfoot.
Inside, the corridor smelled of bleach and slow time.
A fluorescent light hummed above his door.
There were framed landscapes on the wall, beaches long gone from every ocean.
He put the key in the lock,
Stepped into room 12, and shut the door behind him.
Mark stopped, leaving the door open.
He started listening for other things. The distant tick of a heater, the small shuffle beneath the wallpaper, a voice that could be mistaken for wind. On the 5th night, the knocks moved from his door to the wall beside his bed.
3 soft raps,
Then a drag like fingernails on plaster.
He pressed his palm to the wall and felt a faint warmth, as if someone had been there moments before.
He called the clerk. No answer. He checked the windows. Locked. The outside tasted of rain and cigarette smoke.
He checked the peephole again.
And for the first time, he saw movement. Too far to make out details, yet unmoving. The figure stood at the far end of the hall, not walking, not leaning, just waiting, like a sentinel. Mark waited. It didn't move.
Time passed in the corridor like syrup. Then the light above the figure blinked.
And everything seemed to breathe in with the hum. When the light steadied, the figure was gone. It was like the motel was testing him, pushing at the seam between sleep and waking to see what would spill out. He started keeping a recorder on the nightstand to remind himself he was awake. On the 7th night, at 2:17 a.m., the knocks came faster.
A pattern 3, pause, 3, pause like a name being spelled.
He lay still. The recorder captured only the room's small noises, breath, the fridge, then the knocks. But later, when he listened back, there was something else on the track.
A whisper under the knocks, a soft syllable wedged between the metal ticks.
M-O-R-E. Not a language he knew, not quite a voice.
Something that felt like a request.
The next morning, he noticed the pillow again. This time there was writing on the inside seam, a single line stitched in faded thread.
Don't leave. He read it 3 times. His mouth tasted like copper. That night, he didn't sleep at all. The knocks turned to taps, taps into breath.
Breath into something moving beneath the bed. He reached down. Fingers met nothing but carpet.
Then something cold slipped across his wrist, as if a hand had briefly grazed him from the underside of the floor. He ran out into the hall, down the stairwell, into the rain. He felt the motel breathing behind him, a tightness that followed like a thought.
He didn't realize at first what he'd done.
Only afterwards, when the rain washed the print marks from his shoes, did he understand.
Mark had been running away for years, not just from distance, but from debt, From a daughter's face he couldn't meet.
From an apology he never said. Room 12 had a memory.
The motel kept small things, unpaid bills, loose promises.
The weight of people who had slept there and left more than a name.
It wasn't hungry for strangers.
It called to things that had left things unfinished. The knocks were not malicious. They were reminders.
The whisper on the recorder more was not a demand. It was accumulation.
One more evening.
One more chance to set something right. He thought of the apology he never gave, the call he avoided, the letter left folded in the glove compartment. He drove to her house at dawn. He rehearsed the words the whole trip.
He parked on the wrong side of the street and sat, watching the porch light.
She had moved on. She was with someone new. Her mailbox had a stack of junk and a children's crayon scrawl. He didn't go to the door. Instead, he wrote, "I am sorry,"
in a voice message that would sit on her phone unheard if she chose to ignore it.
and he left the message playing. Into the motel's
tiny recorder before he checked out. When he returned to room 12, the corridor felt thinner.
The knock softened. The footprints faded. That night, he slept like a man who had lightened one small weight. Not absolved,
Not forgiven in full.
but acknowledged.
When he left, the clerk looked up and nodded, the ledger untouched. He handed the key back. The bell over the office door chimed like a small bell in a chapel.
On the drive away, he checked the rearview mirror more than once. There were no footprints behind him on the wet road, no figures at the motel windows. The recording captured one last thing. A whisper, softer than the rest, like someone finally setting down a burden. "Thank you."
He didn't know if she ever listened to the message. He didn't know if sleep would keep coming easier.
But on Highway 9, with the dawn lifting,
He felt less like a man running from his life, and more like someone who might go back someday and finish what he had started.
you've just heard the CHF file on room 12. Some doors close behind us, others wait. If you want to go deeper down the highway with us,
Tune in for the next one and subscribe. Leave us a comment, and if you have experience, something that wouldn't make sense at daylight, share it with us and the next file may be yours.